No, you're good. You're good, you're good. They're coming through now on my end. It's bizarre. Yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Initiative Order, and welcome back to Symbaroum, the Throne of Thorns. My name is Nate Ridenauer. I'll be your GM for this journey. Chat, please let me know how audio's coming through. It's been a minute since I've had this set up, so just shout at me and I'll get things fixed as I can. Before we dive back into the story, though, let's go ahead and meet our wonderful players for today. Let's go and start off with Coral, please.
Hi, friends. My name's Coral Reefer, and today I'm going to be playing the potions and poisons master, Agithe. She's old and slept through last session.
All good, no worries. Thank you so much. Let's throw it over to Kelsey, please.
Hi everyone. I'm playing Kinlegelana, the Changeling Witch today.
Thank you so much. And last but certainly not least, our resident goblin, Lee Royal.
Hey everyone, I am Royal, and I will be playing as Nrobso.
Excellent, thank you so much. And unfortunately, Christine and Keith could not be with us today, but we wish them all the love and are looking forward to having them back in the very near future. With that, let's go ahead and dive back into the world of Symbaroum. And welcome back, everybody. Before we dive in to the session, just a quick recap of everything that took place last time, since it's been a minute, y'all. So last we left off, our group of individuals following the lead that kind of started all of this in the woman called Anadia, who, come to find out, was doing quite a bit of investigating. And through your own investigations, following the clues, everything kind of led you to a hidden place within Davokar, a place called the Hall of 1,000 Tears. After performing a small ritual and offering this bit of mushroom to this wild meerkat, which you had adopted and so lovingly given the nickname Thundercat, Thundercat began leading you through the Davokar woods, its nose down to the ground as it was just kind of sniffing wildly, just running in every possible direction with all of you on its tail, trying to make any type of sense of the direction it was taking you, but there was no real defined pathway. As it was charging through the woods, took you the better part of a day before you all decided to kind of make camp for the evening within Davokar. And on this journey, you were accompanied by 2 new allies, and that of Miarel and Lysindra, 2 members of the Iron Pact, who agreed to show you the ritual in exchange for bringing them with you on this journey. And as you all kind of made camp for the evening, it was in the nighttime that you all encountered something a bit strange within the woods. These little glowing orb-like creatures that were kind of hanging out up in the trees and making their way down, and it almost looked like they were at one point trying to free Thundercat from your possession. Luckily, you were all able to stave off these creatures that you would now recognize as they were fairies within the woods. Being able to kind of stave them off, you got a decent night's rest and continued on the pathway the following day following Thundercat, who eventually led you to kind of this large clearing that was scattered with all these beautiful, like gold and burgundy type leaves all along the ground. And as Thundercat kind of just rested in the center, just started digging furiously into these leaves, you all kind of gathered around it. And as you were just kind of standing there waiting, the leaves began to swirl all around you, just creating this beautiful, almost burgundy and gold tornado. And as it spun faster and faster, your vision almost left you for a moment before you woke up. And there was a single pathway before you all. Following this pathway, you came to kind of just all these large dangling vines, which you pulled apart, and you saw it look to be almost this natural, kind of like rock hallway, with several doorways on either side, and this massive glowing being sitting at the back of it. This being you now know to be called Ka Iroan, who is essentially known as the Immortal Elf. And you came to his home in search of Tiarateana, the elf that Anadia had been in contact with from the beginning. As you were all told to wait within this hallway, Ka Iroan went back to retrieve Tiara from deeper within the halls. Upon entering back in to meet with you all, you immediately noticed there was a bit of tension between Tiara and Lysindra and Miarel. No hostility, but you could tell Tiara would rather they weren't in the area. And so the 2 of them were kind of ushered off to a side room by a group of these very tall, lanky elven warriors, while the rest of you took time to speak to Tiara about the ongoings of what was happening within Thistlehold. And she had basically informed you that Anadia was an agent of hers, investigating a cult that was operating within the hold. This cult had come into possession of an ancient skull, the skull of a god called Eox. And it would seem that these cultists want to perform some kind of ritual with this skull, perhaps drawing on the corruptive forces that were coming out of the sinkhole from beneath Thistlehold. And you would learn that Anadia had tracked them to a closed-down tannery within the hold, and was getting ready to strike the following day. Unfortunately, the day that she was going to strike was the day the sinkhole opened up, sinking down the building that she was to meet you all in, resulting in her death. And Tiara had requested that you finish what Anadia had started on her behalf, in hopes of putting an end to whatever corruptive forces may be at work here. In exchange, she offered you all great reward, in the form of perhaps an ancient artifact of great power, precious metals, jewels, coin, basically anything that you can think of, she is willing to try to procure for you. Nrobso, I believe, wanting to receive a nice hefty payment of some sort. Keen asking for information about who you are. Being a changeling and not fully understanding where you've come from aside from a few flashbacks, and knowing that there is another changeling in the world named Odaka, who is incredibly powerful, who almost has a bit of an odd obsession with you, referring to you as the perfect changeling to be used for some kind of task in the future. And Laerke asking for a cure to an ailment that she suffers. And not only her, but a lot of her people. While she currently has a temporary cure to stave off whatever it is that's affecting her, she's looking for something a bit more permanent. And Aggie, I will send you a list of things that you may certainly choose from, or if there's anything in particular, just let me know, as you were also a part of this conversation. And so you and Kovaan will also have access to those rewards as well, upon completion of this task. After this meeting, Ka-Iroan returned, kind of extending out one of his massive hands and opening what appeared to just be a rift in space and time, and opening a portal straight back to Thistlehold, where the group had exited out, following Lysindra and Muriel as well, also exiting out this portal. The portal closing behind you, now leaving you on the outskirts of Thistlehold. And this is where we are currently at. I give the actions to you. What would you all like to do?
All right.
Yeah. So, the cult, ultimately, that they must be stopped, right? So we're all in agreement.
Well, especially as a future member of the Iron Pact, yes, I would think that would be top priority.
They offered you a membership?
No, you. I thought that was
Oh.
your goal. Nrobso,
No,
we want to
Nrobso
make
is
sure.
I'm already the unofficial member.
I see. But think about being an official member.
Well, that just means Nrobso would have to report back to someone else. As an unofficial member, I can still go and come as I please.
Did they discuss that with you? Is that part of the rules?
It was unspoken.
I see. Well, oh, Aggie, you're awake.
Yeah, Did we go through a portal through time and space since?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you took the most incredible nap. You were tied to Lark's back, and we traversed the forest of the Davokar woods, following the Thundercat, who was high and low. Nrobso led.
Wow, yeah, I don't remember any of that. But I do remember waking up, just like there was I don't know, something stirred me, and then all of a sudden I saw a giant portal in front of me, and then we went through the portal, and now I am very awake. I've gone through a lot in my life, and I've never, that was a first.
Well, we have tasks. We have tasks. We either go to the location of one of the cultists and procure information, or we follow up on the sinkhole people.
Especially considering I was asleep, I trust your priorities over my own.
I believe that it would be prudent to seek out this Erlabar fellow at the tannery. Seems like a pretty good lead, and I'm afraid we don't really know the identity of anyone else we could talk to.
Yes, Nrobso agreed.
Now, before we jump in, this is not a friend, correct?
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
Is
more
this-
than likely a fight.
Good to know.
Well, try words first in an environment where he's perhaps bound, potentially gagged when needed.
It is up to you. However, Aggie just kind of opens up her bag. I don't know if you remember, we went shopping a while ago, and I've got a few things that might be useful. I've got poison. I've got a poison candle. So if we want to do just to, open the door, put a candle in, light it, and then just all of the sudden he's breathing poison, we can do that. I've also got war paint and concentrated magic, which I'm looking up what those do specifically right now.
While you're meditating on some of your other implements, Aggie, I was wondering if the poison would potentially kill him. What kind of poison are we talking? Because normally I associate poison with attempted murder.
Yes. The poisons are absolutely it's not fun. That is the more of the goal. However, it is only strong enough, depending on how strong he is, it won't be strong enough to kill him.
How long does this candle need to burn before it takes effect? And
that
is it scented?
That's such a good question, and I think that's in the other rule book.
Totally fine. You're one with books, it's okay. But Nrobso just imagines lighting this candle, somehow putting it in the door, and just waiting.
That's
waiting.
Exactly what I was thinking, but I don't know. At my age, I prefer to wait.
Also not sure how big this place is, the tannery. So many variables. What if there's lots of people? What if his window is open and a gust of wind is causing the smoke to come back towards us?
This is true, if you like. I also just have normal poison, and I can put it on your daggers or on your axes.
Yes, Nrobso loves a good poison axe. Ooh, if the poison axe is on my axe, maybe I can be the one to knock him out.
That is absolutely a possibility.
I would like to confirm that this poison will not kill our source of information.
Oh!
Do such a thing. And in fact, I would like to confirm, Nrobso, that your axe will not kill our source of information.
The axe only cuts as deep as words.
I don't think that's how poison axes work. I think words don't cut as deep. At least not in the same way. Emotional scars as opposed to physical ones, Also, I have completely forgotten Aggie's voice. I apologize. I don't remember the voice.
No, your nap just brings out the best side of your youth.
Yeah, there we go.
You sound very animated today, Aggie.
Yes, I absolutely am. I had a great nap. And wow, there's nothing that wakes you up like going through a portal through time and space. But friends, I have found in my notes, I found the specifics on the poison candle. As she has her little notebook out. Let's see, it's a seemingly ordinary candle. Great. It emits poisonous fumes when lit. We knew that. Revealed if they're vigilant. I'm trying to. All right, it's revealed with a past vigilant to my discreet check. The poison is airborne and affects everyone in the room or in the vicinity. The candle must burn for 1d4 turns before the poison is released. So the assassin can light it and leave the room before it takes effect. Weak poison candle deals 2 damage per turn, moderate 3 damage per turn. And I believe I have
hold on. Let me stop you right there. I don't know how discreet I actually am to get this thing done. Who among us is good enough to plant this candle without getting seen?
I mean, it might be a job for young pips.
I am also. That is one of the things that I've been known to do.
Oh, this is news to me.
Yeah. There's much that you don't know. I
Oh,
have
so this
skills.
is a plan for Agithe. Nrobso would very much love to see Agithe go in very stealthily. With me at your side, just in case the plan goes awry.
Yes, absolutely.
How many civilians might be affected by the noxious gas?
All
It
of
does
them.
depend on how many people are in the room. That is the question.
What if, now humor me, we don't have to do it this way, and I will, of course, abstain if that is your wish, but what if I go talk to him disguised as maybe some young looking archer and say that I need to look at some kind of special belt to equip, and I was wondering what he had in the back.
I think, yes, that could definitely be that's a great idea. But I'm also, we don't need to use the candle. If we don't think the candle is the right tool for this job, we don't need to use it. We have options. I'm just saying we have options.
Nrobso's just realizing this place is a shop, isn't it?
If you like, Keen, I can also give you some concentrated magic.
I love magic.
Which will help your mystical powers.
And if we're concerned, Nrobso can probably just clutch onto my back underneath my robe.
Oh, yeah.
And then pop out once I am back there. Less witnesses involved, and potentially less people harmed. We really don't know who's going to be in the tannery.
So, do we think this is going to be a difficult fight or something fairly easy? Because if we think it's going to be difficult, Nrobso, I've got pull out a little pot of paints. I have some war paint, which will also help make you quicker and faster. So if we think it's going to be difficult, then we can gear ourselves up. But otherwise, we can just go in.
Can Nrobso just have said paint?
Yeah, sure. Just go ahead and hand it over. That makes sense.
And Mirel kind of steps up too and just, well, if you really think about it, a group of cultists protecting a skull of a god, I can only imagine it's going to be fairly packed. You have my blade as well as Lysindra's, if you wish.
Right, I forgot.
See.
We're targeting one person.
So you think there's going to be a lot more than one person in there that is a cultist, Miro?
Well, I'm just saying if it was me personally trying to transport and protect the skull of an actual god, I would have as many people as I possibly could. Do you have any other allies that you've made within the hold? I'm just saying more firepower might not be a bad idea, especially since we all saw what came out of the sinkhole the first time.
How do you feel about a warhorse named Red Herring?
Can the horse fight?
He is known to be quite feisty.
This is true.
Well, I can make contact with Gadramon if need be. Potentially, we could see where the brothers are. Is there a line of communication, Aggie, with the brothers?
Yes. I've got a sending stone to Laney's one of the brothers, right?
You've got a sending
Was it
stone.
Leo?
You've got one to Laney, who's the part of your guild, and you
Oh,
also
right.
have,
Who's my...
You've got one to the oldest brother as well.
Cool. Let me write that one down.
Um,
If I remember correctly, the brothers were on their way to another city, though. So I don't know if they would be able to get back here in time, but I can check.
However, imagine in the hour of battle, arrive comes the Templar Knights, all the brothers, in the best time of need.
Yes.
And we have one other option, but this would be a discussion, not necessarily someone we should go with, but I suppose we could also have a conversation with our friend Cargoy. I'm not saying that Cargoy is the friendliest person around, but I think preserving all of humanity for his family isn't the bottom of his priority list. But I would say only take him in case of an emergency, because we don't necessarily know all of his allegiances yet.
And if all else fails, I also have the whistle to bring 2 hellhounds at aid.
Indeed. A gift of Cargoy's, if I remember correctly. In a manner of speaking.
Yeah.
Okay. Well then, Mirel and Lysindra, I think we would appreciate your blade, but we would also appreciate your discretion. I think we need to find a way to get in there without them noticing maybe a large group of people.
well,
Maybe, is there a way to sneak into the back of the tannery? Is there a way to enter from different sides?
if you'd like, Lysindra and I, we can go scope it out while you gather your forces. And we don't all have to attack the tannery at once. My main concern is more things crawling out of the sinkhole. At least we'll be prepared this time. If we can have as many fighters at the sinkhole ready to go.
I see. Well, I mean, technically we can talk to Mayor Nightpitch.
That is true.
It's been a while.
Lysindra and myself, we should probably be seen by as few eyes as possible. Kind of gesturing to their pointed ears.
Understood.
Would it be possible for you two to let us know exactly how many, or an estimate of how many folks are in this tannery and how many of them are civilians and how many are cultists?
We can look into it and let you know.
Wonderful. And I'm going to look back at the party and because honestly, I know I said earlier that we don't have to use it, but if we are going against a room full of people, I think this candle might be a really good tool.
I agree.
So in
Strong
that
forethought.
case, should we start trying to gather forces at the for the sinkhole?
I believe so. Nrobso?
Nrobso feels maybe all of this can be done with the one common denominator. Mayor Nightpitch, I'm sure, can send ravens or pigeons or crows, something that could fly out to each of the respective people we're trying to assimilate to the sinkhole. In which case, after we finish with Mayor Nightpitch, we can head to the tannery and meet back up with the 2 that are scouting.
Excellent thought.
Yeah, I have no complaints, no objections.
All right. And you see...
Shall we? Oh.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. You're good. I was just going to say, Lysindra and Mirel both pull up their hoods, and the 2 of them take off. So the three of you heading then to Marinite Pitch's home. Is that your first stop? Okay.
Yeah.
You continue down the pathway, making your way to that familiar palisade with the large gate that's currently pulled open. As you all approach, go ahead and give me a vigilance check, if you all would, please.
Nope.
11 of 12.
Okay. Nrobso coming in with the win. As you are approaching this area, you see that there are a couple of small crowds that are kind of beginning to form near this gate. And as you're kind of passing through, you see several of the Night's Watch kind of trying to, almost looks like they're trying to calm people down and direct them a little bit. And amongst the Night's Watch, Nrobso, you catch the glimpse of a familiar face, and that of Captain Marvello, who's currently with these individuals as well.
Maggie, it's the
Yes?
captain.
Oh, I see. Yes, that's good. Captain Marvello, hello, well met.
And you see Captain as she's kind of like, it's okay, just return to your homes for now, just things will be back to business as usual as soon as possible, I assure you. There's nothing to be worried about. Keen, hello, it's good to see you again.
Oh. Yes, I see you're very busy, but is there any way that we could get an audience with Marinite Pitch? And maybe, what's going on?
And she kind of, could you take over for me? And she just kind of gestures to one of the other watchmen and kind of gets closer to you and tries to kind of like pull you aside away from the crowd a little bit. It seems that there's a bit more activity happening near the hole. Nothing to be too concerned with yet, but some of the watch who have been holding the perimeter about it have noticed more sound coming from within. But I assure you, nobody has gone down. We've kept a close eye on that and made certain.
Marvello, between the two of us, we are coming to speak to Marinite Pitch, but we want as many people as possible watching the sinkhole. We have reason to believe some things might be coming out of it relatively soon.
I see. Perhaps this isn't the place to discuss details. I'll accompany you to the mayor's home if that's all right.
Yes.
And she kind of starts shoving her way through the crowd. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Aggie.
As we're walking in, I kind of yeah, the urgency has just gone way up. So as we're walking in, I'm just gonna be at the back and I'm gonna hold the sending stone in my pocket, and I'm gonna send the message to Leohan right then, and just be like, my dear Leohan, how far from Thistlehold are you and your brothers at this point?
And you wait a few moments before you get a voice back. Miss Aggie, it's good to hear your voice. We're about a day and a half or so. We're almost to Temple Wall.
Understood. If you've any forces you can spare, we would appreciate some assistance. We have reason to believe that there are going to be more creatures coming out of the sinkhole within the next day or so. And I've seen how you fight.
I see. Well, unfortunately, my brother still isn't fully recovered, so I don't think he's in much shape to travel and fight, but give me one moment. And it goes silent for a bit. And you hear another voice come through the stone. The voice of the eldest brother, Henlone. So, more activity from the sinkhole, huh?
Unfortunately, the guards are hearing chattering, and the rest of my party is trying to take down a group of cultists who we believe is behind, who we believe is going to, which we believe is related.
I see. Alright. Unfortunately, my brother has no shape to travel, and I will leave the tablet in the care of Leohan, so it stays away from the hold for now. But I will make my way back to you as quickly as possible.
I appreciate that very much, and wish your brothers safe travels.
I'll let them know. And then just go silent from there.
Yeah, he's not much of a talker. I'm not shocked. But yeah, as we were walking in, then I am going to just say, Henlone's on his way.
Very nice.
You continue making your way through the streets over towards the home, the familiar large mansion of the Night House, the home of Mayor Nightpitch himself. And there are two guards kind of on watch at kind of the gateway leading in to the home. And Marvello just swings the gate open and just says, "Move," and just pushes her way past and just continues straight forward. She goes up and doesn't even knock on the door. She just flings it open. Just goes, "Lord Nightpitch, I apologize for the abrupt entry, but it seems our new friends have some urgent matters they wish you to hear." And she kind of shuts the door behind and offers you all a seat at the massive table that kind of sits in the entryway of this home. And you see Nightpitch as he's kind of standing at the top of the stairs. You see him kind of fold up some pieces of parchment and hand them over to the familiar face of the young witch who you had encountered in his home before, the one that Nrobso had once proposed to. And he kind of passes the documents over to her and just kind of, you see him kind of whisper something into her ear, and she shuffles off behind him into a doorway at the top of the stairs, and he makes his way down. "Oh, Captain Marvello, it's a bit odd to see you so disheveled. You're usually so professional and calm, but with all the ongoings, I'm assuming this is rather important." And he just kind of looks at all of you. "Please, have a seat." And he takes his spot at the head of the table.
Well, thank you for your audience, Mayor Nightpitch. We have very strong reason to believe that there will be some things coming out of the sinkhole, possibly today, possibly within the next 48 hours. And we need to make sure that there are people ready to fight around the sinkhole.
And what kind of things do you expect to see? I'm assuming the type of creatures we fought before.
Absolutely. We would be expecting to see those. Potentially people with various types of powers. We believe that there might be some kind of cult activity related to the events of the sinkhole.
I see. What kind of activity specifically? Do you know?
I'm just gonna look to my two companions just to make sure they give me the go-ahead. We have reason to believe that there is a cult with certain learnings of the ruins of Symbaroum, and we believe that they mean to use the skull of a god that they attacked in the wood to raise sort of like an abomination god, like some kind of corrupted god they're hoping to create in the depths of the sinkhole.
I see. And he kind of just leans back for a moment and kind of looks towards Marvello. And he just says, "Any word yet?" And Marvello just kind of shakes her head. Let's see. Well, since the sinkhole has begun to awaken a bit more, as it would seem, within the past few hours, I have sent for emergency help. I do have a group of 15 knights on the way, led by an incredibly powerful fighter. However, I do not know how long it's going to take them to get here. I've been trying to keep the citizens of the hold in their homes until these warriors can arrive and go down and face this directly. But unfortunately, it may seem that we don't have time on our side. So, I will gather what members of the watch that I can spare together at the sinkhole, but I will not send them down. I will not risk their lives in that way.
Absolutely.
I don't think we would have suggested that.
So what do you
And
plan on doing from here?
we have plans to confront a known cultist and hopefully get more information and see whether or not the skull has been moved to the sinkhole yet or not.
I see. And do you have the name of this cultist?
Erlabar.
And Night Pitch just kind of leans back for a moment. You're certain?
Yes.
And
I take it you know this person?
a simple antiques dealer within the hold. I can give you his address if you'd like.
We already have it, I believe.
Well, we have the information for the tannery. Does he have a more personal address?
The tannery. That building's been shut down for the better part of a month at this point. It's actually recently been purchased by another merchant.
Oh,
Well,
who purchased it? Who purchased it?
He's an individual from Indaros named Beniam Golak.
Beniam Gola.
I'm just gonna call him Denny.
He intends to my knowledge, build a new shop there, but
well, if
Listen.
that's the case, then it sounds like we need to go in and evict some squatting cultists.
That's not what Nrobso is understanding. Nrobso thinks that this spinny guy is equally involved.
Oh, that's also a possibility.
I see.
Is there anything that you know about this merchant, Lord Nightpitch?
nothing beyond he brings goods from Indaros. To my knowledge, I think perhaps Erlabar was a purchaser from him. but I've not heard any ill words spoken about the men. But if you plan to investigate the tannery, you'll find it in the Antique Plaza.
I see.
But I do also have Erleber's personal address as well. He was procuring some new art pieces for my home.
If for some reason you come into contact with Erleber, I would act like you don't know anything.
Sure.
Our plan is to go to the tannery, hopefully fix the situation. Is there anyone maybe you have a very accurate drawing of that normally comes into contact with Erleber? As a backup.
Besides myself, I'm not certain who all he deals with, unfortunately.
Very well, thank you. Comrades, is there anything you'd like to ask in particular?
No, Nrobso's all set. We already mentioned that we need to assemble the team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, then Nrobso has nothing else.
Actually, I can definitely say this, I believe, on my partner's behalves. We have some things that Aggie has purchased to maybe aid us in this quest. Is there any way to potentially get any kind of payment, to get any kind of necessary supplies reimbursed after they're used?
Give me a persuasion roll if you would, Keen.
I did it for Nrobso. I am so persuasive, and yet I got a 19 out of 11, so...
And Night Pitch just kind of looks towards you. Really, with the urgency of all that is happening right now, payment is one of your priorities.
Not a priority, just something maybe we can circle back to later then.
If we come out of this alive, and if you are the ones to stop this, I will make it worth your while.
Very well. Thank you very much.
I'll have the Night's Watch begin gathering at the sinkhole.
Oh. Thank you.
And Night Watch kind of stands up from the head of the table, and you see him begin to walk back up the staircase. And as he's walking, he doesn't even turn to look back towards you all. And just, Captain, I trust you'll show them the way out. And Marvella just kind of sheepishly nods and stands up and begins walking towards the front door and opens them, and is just kind of standing there waiting for all of you.
I proceed to go down.
Okay. You all exit the home, and as you leave his yard back out into the streets of Thistlehold, let's go ahead and take a quick 10-minute break. Thank you all so much for sticking with us. We'll be back here in about 10 minutes or so. We will see you all then. Stick around. And welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. Let's go ahead and jump back in. Our group has just left the home of Might Pitch and Night Pitch, as you have all begun to kind of spread the word to start gathering what allies you can to make their way towards the sinkhole now that it has begun to show more signs of activity. You are all currently back out on the streets of Thistlehold, accompanied by Captain Marvello. It's at this time that, as you're standing out here on the street, Aggie, you feel a bit of warmth coming from one of your pockets. And you would immediately recognize it as one of your message stones is activating.
Great. I'm going to go ahead and pick it up.
Okay. You pick it up and you hear the familiar voice of a youngish woman, and it is the voice of Lainey coming through.
I was just about to call you.
Miss Aggie, are you all right?
I'm happy to hear from you. I was actually just about to send you a message. Are you abreast of the situation in Thistlehold?
Not all the details. Me and Ogrim, we were still following the one called Blamello, but unfortunately we seem to have lost track of him. But I've noticed a bit more presence from the Night Watch in town. Do you know what's going on?
Yes. The sinkhole is about to be activated again. And there will be creatures crawling out, and we are trying to protect the city. Do you have any idea if this is something that would align with your interests?
Well, I mean, we're here, and if this is something you're concerned with, we're happy to help. Would you like us to stay at the sinkhole, or would you like us to perhaps meet you?
You know, I actually believe that your expertise might be suited best with us. We're going to be going up against what we believe is a group of cultists, and I must say it's been a while since I've snuck around any places in any serious fashion, so we have some ideas. We have a poisonous candle, and we have a room full of people that we need to subdue.
I see. And what is the location that you're heading to?
We're going to the closed down tannery. It's in the Antiques District, I believe it was.
Okay. Ogrim and I shall meet you there.
Wonderful. I appreciate.
And the sending stone once again goes cold in your hand.
And yeah, I'm gonna let the party know I have 2 more new friends that you will possibly be meeting tonight, possibly not. They are very good at their jobs, so I wouldn't be surprised if they don't make themselves particularly seen.
And that just reminds me, I should probably also equally contact Kranko. I don't have one of these magical sending stones, and this also is not him. Don't mind the young ones. The children just love to come around me every now and then.
And then Nrobso scoops some mud. And on the side of the building, he just goes,
Kranko, meet at sinkhole. Bring however many you find.
All right. And as you finish scrawling this, you all see walking down the street a familiar goblin. And as he's walking, he sees you, Nrobso, kind of finish scrolling out your message, and he kind of stops and, boss, I can't read.
Yeah,
That's good to
you know
see
that
you
that
again.
makes sense. You've been our trusted one with messages mainly because you can't read. So
Yeah, no, I saw
I'm
your
just glad
group
you
head
had-
into the mayor's house. I was walking down the street, so I figured I'd come by and say hello.
Right. Well, Kranko, how many more of the Brotherhood did you add to the cause?
Right, I was supposed to be doing that, boss, but then there was the whole lost a finger situation, so I've been MIA for a minute.
All I'm hearing is excuses. We've talked about this, Kranko. Results only.
Look, I can get number 1, 3, and 4, maybe number 2.
Yep. Okay. You know, that's enough. We
Okay.
will show them the strength of the Goblin kind.
And who are we showing exactly?
Show them the strength of the Goblin kind.
Show them.
Oh, well, essentially, remember that thing with the sinkhole that happened a long time ago?
Oh, the creepy crawlies that came out, the big shadow guys. Yeah.
It's looking like it might be happening again.
Oh.
Yeah.
More
so
fight.
We should be more prepared this time.
Right. So you want me and the boys to just go to the hole?
Yeah, just hang out.
Okay.
Should any of these creepy collies come out, then yeah, you should probably help out.
Okay.
Help out by killing them. That's the extent of what I'm. Do not go into the sinkhole, Kranko.
Don't go in and kill the things that come out, right? Not the people that are
you
already...
you let them come out. You let them come out.
Them come to us and then swing. Okay.
If you can get some gloves, wear gloves.
What are gloves?
The things that the humans wear on their hands. That's if you can
The
procure
finger covers.
some of
Why?
those.
Why?
Yeah, it's just hey, do not question the boss, Kranko. I am the one. In fact, here, and I give him $2. It's been a while since I've actually paid you, though. Yeah, as a matter of fact, for 1 through 4, here's some more, and I just give out some more. And Kranko,
Yeah.
should this get done, we shall be rewarded with a substantial amount of dollar.
That's these, right? Money.
Yep. Remember the things that I bought all of the ale with?
Right.
I came
Yeah.
to the
We
bar,
give these to the
big
Ambrians
goblet
and they
came
give
around.
us stuff back. Gotcha. Okay.
Exactly.
Got it.
We will form our own ecosystem and join a part of the economic system of the Ambrian.
Got it. So sinkhole. Gloves.
Get numbers 1 through 4.
1 through 4.
Sinkhole.
Gloves. Sinkhole. Swing.
Gloves.
At things that come
Back to
out.
back. You guys are to be back to back.
But if there's
Yep.
this 5,
Yeah.
How do we
that
go
means
back to back?
You are in the middle, commanding the 4.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Off you go, Kranko. Get numbers 1 through 4.
Right.
We'll name those guys later, but yeah, just 1 through 4. That's their names right now.
1 through 4. Got it.
Yeah.
Now.
Right now, Kranko, be well. Off with you.
All right, boss.
Now, perhaps I'll meet you there. It's undecided right now.
Got it. And Kranko skitters off through the streets.
I feel like that was just enough time for me to also just update Gadramon over our little message stone.
Messaging Gadramon. Okay. Excellent. And Gadramon replies back, would you like me within the walls to aid in the fight?
Absolutely, I would. Yes. Give him hell.
Very well. I'll see you at the sinkhole. All right. Allies now gathering at the sinkhole. The 3 of you now have the location of the tannery in the Antiques Plaza. Is there anything else the 3 of you would like to do in this time, or are you heading straight for the tannery to meet up with the rest of your companions over there?
This might not be something we know. Would we have any idea how big this skull is going to be? That might be in the tannery.
It's the skull of a god, you're not certain.
Is there any kind of bag we know about that we could possibly find already made, no extra time commitment, that could possibly fit such a thing, or like a cart?
I mean, there's lots of carts out and about in Thistlehold that are kind of parked off on the sides of the streets. You could certainly try to procure one that way. Or you also have, you would know that there are a couple of like leather bag type shops as well within the hold that you could potentially procure a larger bag as well. I will leave those options up to you, whichever you want to procure, a cart, a bag, both easy enough to do.
So for this skull, do you think we should procure a bag or a cart? Should we find it?
I would presume a bag would hide it more easier.
Excellent.
In which case, if it happens to be heavy, we have the warhorse red herring that could draw the weight of at least 10 men.
Very well. And I am going to procure a large bag.
Okay, that's easy enough to do. We'll call it just one thaler for a very nicely made large leather satchel.
I will get the warhorse's name, like, very, very quickly etched onto it.
Okay. Very hastily scrawled is the word red herring. Herring only spelt with one R and two G's on there. But it's functional.
All right, without any further ado.
Heading off to the tannery then?
Before we head up to the tannery, I am going to look at Nrobso and say, how do you... It seems like we have a lot of fighters at the tannery. Do you think that you would be best served with us fighting the cultist, or do you want to keep watch over the sinkhole?
Well, it is to Nrobso's understanding, if we are successful in stopping the cultists, would that not prevent the worst possibility of the sinkhole?
I believe that's our hope, but I don't know if we know that for certain.
We'll be there for the cultist.
Wonderful.
And should there be trouble and a sending stone message is made, Nrobso shall take red herring and at haste report to the sinkhole.
Wonderful. Then off to the tannery.
Okay. You begin making your way through the streets of Thistlehold, heading towards the Antique Plaza. Along the way, you see a lot of the Night's Watch as they're kind of just patrolling the streets. Everybody give me vigilance checks if you would, as you're walking through them.
Now one.
Nice, okay.
I'm not rolling well today.
Yeah,
I'm not rolling well. It was like 15 out of 7.
Oof. Nrobso, one more time for me, sorry.
14 of 12.
14 of 12. Okay, no worries. Aggie is the only one successful with this. As you're maneuvering through Keen and Nrobso, they look to just be patrolling like normal. Aggie, you can see, though, their expressions seem to be a bit more worried as they're kind of walking through, and you see some folks as they're kind of stopping and going up to them and just, is something wrong? I mean, why are there so many more of you out on patrol? What's happening? And you just overhear the Night's Watch just kind of trying to reassure these individuals that there's nothing to worry about. Lord Prios is watching over us. The mayor is just making sure that everything stays safe and secure. until we fully understand the sinkhole, but there's no need for concern right now. I assure you that nothing has come out recently, and that all will be fine. And the citizens are just kind of give like a sheepish nod and try to force a smile across their face as they continue walking by and passing by one another. But you continue on. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Just gonna whisper to my party and wonder aloud. Feel like maybe we should have insisted on Mayor Night Pitch telling the townspeople to board themselves in. Feel like that might have been an oversight, but it's too late now.
I guess that will give us more haste when it comes to dealing with this issue.
Yes. Shall we walk a bit faster then?
Indeed. A jaunty pace.
Making haste, continuing on. As you approach the Antiques Plaza, you can see a few different shops that are currently opened up. Looking in the windows, there's all kinds of different antiquities, everything from like old dressers and wooden tables kind of set up in the shop windows. One shop appears to have like some specialty rugs hanging up. As you're kind of looking through, you do see one building in particular kind of set off on one of the street corners on its own, not flanked by any buildings. This one appears to have almost like a small yard built around it to give itself a bit of space between the other buildings. And this one here looks to just be a single-story, simple wooden building. However, all the glass windows are boarded up that you can see. There is a sign that's kind of just barely hanging on by a couple nails that does say Tannery. And as you approach, you do see two figures with their hoods kind of pulled up as they're kind of just standing near kind of the grassy area towards one of the corners of this building. Go ahead and give me another round of vigilance checks if you would.
10 out of 7.
Okay. Nat 1 for Nrobso. Beautiful.
I like these dice. It's a 9 out of 11.
Okay. Excellent. As you approach Aggie and Nrobso, you would immediately recognize the robes of the two hooded individuals, as those are the robes of Miarel and Lysindra standing there on the corner. However, Nrobso and Aggie, the two of you also notice what appear to be a couple figures up on the rooftop, wearing these black robes, like a very dark gray cloak pulled over. The hood's currently pulled up. Very difficult to make out some of their features. However, Nrobso, with your perception, you can see that one of them appears to be like a younger, feminine-looking figure standing up there, significantly shorter compared to the individual standing next to her, who appears to be almost kind of like this very thickly built humanoid individual standing there. And you can see that kind of shimmering out from beneath his cloak what appears to almost be like some kind of metallic skull mask over his face. You also notice what appear to be two small pins affixed to their cloaks, almost like small brooches that seem to depict like a rose. Aggie, you would immediately recognize who these two are. And as your gaze kind of meets up to theirs, the young woman just kind of like gestures like, "Do you want us to come down?"
And I'm just going to gesture back to you.
Aggie, these friends are foe.
Friends.
I don't know what sign language you're speaking. Oh, okay. All right.
Friends.
What are you talking about?
Aggie's
Yeah.
up on the roof of the building. It's a
Oh.
woman. She's short. Or at least I think it's a woman. I can tell that's very feminine features. Another one's a man. He's a thick boy. But he's wearing this metallic mask. Apparently, Aggie's friends with them. So
I
they're
see.
friendly for now.
For now.
I called in a favor. Don't worry about it.
Perhaps they are more of the advantageous type.
Yeah.
Here's hoping.
You see Muriel and Lysindra as they both kind of look over their shoulders and they kind of see all of you, and they kind of just do a wave, asking for you all to come join them, kind of in the grassy alleyway next to this building. Do you approach?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You all approach, making your way up to them, and as they have their backs turned, the three of you see the two figures jump off the top of the building, landing down behind Muriel and Lysindra. But as they land, you notice that they don't make a single sound. Almost like they're just pure air coming down. And they both just kind of stand up behind Lysindra and Muriel. And they begin slowly approaching. Kind of joining up with the rest of your group. And as they approach, you almost get hit with the scent of death and decay, to where it's almost slightly nauseating as these two approach. And as you see now, though their hoods are pulled up, you can begin to start making out a bit more of their features. The younger woman who approaches looks to be maybe mid to late teens. Her skin almost like this grayish blue color, and you can see that bits of her cheek are almost missing, to where you can see her teeth actually showing through her cheek, and you can see just kind of this very thin, stringy, like gray hair kind of poking out from beneath her hood. And you can tell that the stench is mainly coming off of her. The other individual standing a good foot or so above her height. This man, his entire face is obscured behind just this metallic skull. And they both just kind of stand there. And the young woman just kind of looks towards you, Aggie. It's good to see you alive still. And as she speaks, Muriel and Lysindra almost like jump a little bit as they turn around and just are now noticing these two have joined the group.
I hold my hand out to Muriel and Lysindra and just I'm my friends. I thought that their skills would come in handy on a mission like this. I'm going to look back at Lainey and say, likewise, darling.
And Lady just kind of nods in your direction. And as you're looking, it's familiar to Aggie, but to Muriel, Lysindra, Nrobso, Keen, and the rest of your party, looking at this individual, you can tell that she's very similar to Kargoy's daughter, in that she's alive, but there's not much life behind her eyes, if that makes sense. She's more so existing. But the main difference is she's significantly more cognizant compared to Kargoy's daughter, in that she's able to speak and have control over her body, and there's an awareness to her.
Maggie's. She's DC. She's similar to the daughter.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Perhaps we could, after the events of today, maybe get information on how this is to be.
I'm always interested in a good learning experience.
I'm going to look at Lainey and say, well, in my experience with and I haven't said her name to y'all yet. In my experience with my friends, which I'll let them introduce themselves as they see fit. But with my experience, she's been a great help. And we've been able to learn a lot from each other. Haven't we? Just give a nice little smile and nod.
And she kind of nods back in your direction. And it's odd looking at Lainey. She appears to be just, again, mid to late teens. But you can tell it's as though Aggie has known her for a significantly longer amount of time. And when you look at Aggie's age compared to Lainey's, it's odd. The age difference and how they would know one another. But Lainey just kind of nods towards you and extends a hand out towards Nrobso first.
Well, I would assume that introductions could have been done after the task at hand, but why the hell not? I am Nrobso, the hero of Trabadox, the guardians of all goblin kind, the master assassin of the Brotherhood yet to be named. I'm also the owner of Goblin Box. If you need any messages, you bring them to me. I'll have my goblins deliver your messages quite swiftly. We're actually a little bit faster than the Sending Stones.
And Lainey kind of takes your hand and she shakes and just kind of does a bit of a nod. And you can see like there's almost no emotion coming from her face as she looks towards you. And she doesn't give her name, but shakes your hand. And as you say Master Assassin, you do hear an audible, like, laughter coming from behind the mask of the taller man that is with Lainey.
Do I look like a joke to you?
Not a joke, it's just... A master assassin, you must be very good at what you do.
I am incredibly good.
And I like get my axes, like I shuffle them around.
I'm incredibly good at what I do.
And he just kind of nods towards you, and he extends his hand out to you as well. And he just says, "Oh, Grim."
I give him like a cool little...
And he just kind of lets you
Nice.
slap his hand around like he doesn't even try to keep up. He just kind of offers a hand next to Keen.
And I will shake it and just say, well met, Kinlegelana.
Well met indeed. Yeah, and he does the same with Muriel and Lysindra. And Lainey also goes around shaking hands. So, the Grim kind of just speaks up. Since you two beat us here, what'd you find out? Kind of looking towards Muriel and Lysindra. And Muriel just kind of looks back. Well, from what we can tell, there's a lot of activity happening from within. From what I can make out, probably close to a dozen people in there. I think we can safely assume that there are no civilians, as this place has been shut down for a while now. I think that...
Did you say 1,000?
No,
a dozen.
No, Aggie, check your ears.
Bro, okay, I was all like, I
a
really
dozen,
misheard. I was like, this
No.
building is way bigger than I thought it was.
No.
Aggie, just one, two, just 12 of them, 7 of us, Aggie. Nothing
No
to worry
idea
about.
how
I
I
can
heard
take on at least
those
4 by
were-
myself.
Those words don't sound anything alike either. Sorry, anyways.
At least a dozen of them. I can only imagine all of them fairly well armed. And Lainey kind of looks at the group. Would you like me to get a closer look, Miss Aggie?
I would definitely appreciate that. And before you go, I'm gonna pull out the candle and just say, it's been a while since I've used one of these, but I was thinking it might be of good use, considering it looks like we're looking at a single room building.
And Lainey kind of extends her hand and takes the candle from you. I can find a good spot for this. And you see her kind of just look towards Ogrim and just kind of nod. And you see him kind of put his back up against the building, interlocking his hands. And Lainey steps up and jumps back up onto the building. And she turns, extending a hand back, and Ogrim just kind of leaps up, grabbing onto hers. And the two of them make their way back up onto the rooftop. And it's the same situation where, as the two of them are maneuvering, there is little to no sound coming from them.
Just under my breath, I'm just gonna be like, it's been so long since I got to watch them work.
Maggie's, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the time for murder? Let's just say that the skull is in there. We're here for this skull. Would I be allowed to murder?
Do you remember the word for it?
Was it
Lilies,
not
right?
Lily? Yeah.
Would you like to collect some lilies today?
No, oh, absolutely. But then you said there's a guy that you didn't want to be killed. But if our objective of the skull is in acquisition, what say you then?
I think it would be okay to collect lilies. If there happens to be one unpruned that perhaps has information for us, that's fine, but it's not required.
Murder is not required.
No, leaving one lily unpruned is not required.
And so he switches his axes around so that when he fights, it's just the blunt end.
No lilies. Lilies, yes. We want to collect lilies today.
Oh, we are collecting lilies.
Yes. Yes. We are collecting lilies.
Oh, then when we're ready, say it in a super cool way.
All right. And he fixes them back to the other way.
All right. And a few moments go by. Aggie, you feel that warming sensation in your pocket once more.
Let's pick it up.
All right. And you hear the hushed tones of Lainey's voice coming through. One large open room. There appear to be two smaller rooms situated towards the back of the building with the doorways shut and a staircase leading down. I've got the candle lit, currently situated on one of the upper supporting beams in the center of the room. Give it a few moments before you enter in. Should give the toxins enough time to start to take effect. Looks like there's about 14 of them up here. Not sure what's downstairs.
I'm going to reply, great work. Do you think it would be a good idea for us to try to gather as many folks in the main room as possible? Knocking on the door or something?
Might not be bad. The candle's fumes should be able to fill this place up fairly decently, so the more we can hit with it, the better.
Wonderful. Great work.
And
Get out of there. Stay safe.
she says, "Are you sure? Well, Grim and I can stay up on the beams. We have ways to protect ourselves from the fumes.
Oh,
And we can drop down on individuals once the fun begins."
in that case, yeah, that's great. Do that.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just gonna relay all of the message and relay. Yeah, the candle's lit. It's on a top beam. I think we might want to. Well, they are staying inside. They can keep themselves safe. I think it might be fun for us to play a little game of cat and mouse.
Nrobso loves games.
How do you feel about us all? Okay, this is fun. This is interesting. This is funny. I'm gonna look at our other two friends and be like, my idea is if we all surround this building and tap intermittently on the windows, make it seem as though they're being surrounded or something along the lines, and then get as many people into the main room and panicking as possible. And that way we can knock as many out with the candle before we even enter.
Lives on the front door.
Oh, I would expect no other place for you, Nrobso.
And Miro kind of nods. Yes, I think that the quieter we do this, the better. Less attention, less worry throughout the town. And Lysindra already has a blade drawn. And she just kind of looks towards you all. And I say we make as much noise as possible. Do you not think the people of the hold deserve to know what's happening? Give them the chance to fight against us themselves.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting us pounding on the doors, but rather a nice little knock. Something quiet. But
And
I also like the idea of allowing the people to fight back. But I don't want them to get hurt. That is the big thing.
Cinder kind of nods. Very well. We'll do it your way for now, but the second things go wrong, I will not hesitate.
Neither shall Nrobso. I'm with this Lisa.
And you all take positions at the windows then? Nrobso at the front door?
Yeah, but I have a crate, and I made like mud-shaped cookies.
All right. Who would like to tap first? Nrobso begins pounding on the front door. Nrobso, go ahead.
Goblin Scout cookies. Goblin Scout cookies.
Oh god, give me a persuasive roll, Nrobso, if you will.
I have a 12 of 5.
12 of 5. You hear from within the building. The hell are Goblin Scout cookies? I don't know. Should we just go check it out and see what?
And then Aggie is gonna start knocking on her window.
And you hear more footsteps kind of shuffle. Just what? Did you hear that?
And then I'll start knocking on mine.
What the fuck is going on?
Goblin Scout cookies.
And you see Miro also begin to knock on his and Lysindra on hers. And you hear more footsteps kind of begin to shuffle and the sounds of like iron and metal being unsheathed. And you hear just everybody just stay calm. Just everybody go to a window and you hear one very audible thud. And you just hear the more just shit, just go check on him. What? Okay, perhaps we should open the front door. It's getting a little warm in here. And you hear another audible thud. And you can see Muriel and Lysindra kind of begin to tap on their windows more rapidly.
Aggie's gonna start saying, Goblin Scout cookies!
Goblin Scout
Goblin.
cookies.
Goblin Scout cookies!
And you just hear, almost as though the footsteps begin to shuffle in a way that just is almost a bit of a panic. To where you can't tell what direction they're going. And you just hear more just audible thuds hitting the ground. And as the moments pass, you hear about 13 thuds. Just one after the other. Before the front doors finally pull open. And Nrobso, you see an individual dressed in just these dark leathers. He's got what almost appears to be like a red sun emblazoned into his leather chest piece. And as you look behind him, you can see just all these other individuals completely unconscious on the stone floors within the tannery. And you see like he is just profusely sweating and rubbing his eyes, and you can see he is just very much dazed and confused at this point. Yeah, you're good. You're good.
It seems as if a Goblin Scout is here.
Beyond him, you see a
Yes.
couple individuals coming up the staircase. And as these two kind of hit the top landing, you see almost in a flash just two shadows drop down from the ceiling, landing on top of these individuals, almost very much Assassin's Creed-like, coming down. As you see Lainey and Ogrim just drop immediately on the top of the two that are coming to the top of the staircase as they are down. And they both just kind of look towards you, Nrobso, and this individual standing up before you. He's got his blade drawn as he's just like looking around, trying to rub his eyes and just make any sense of what's happening.
I rush
I'm
him
just
to kind of tackle him down.
Okay. Go ahead, give me a strength check if you would, or a quick check. I will leave it up to you.
Aggie's just feeling some nostalgia right now. And she's just like, it's been so long since a plan like this has worked so well.
There's a 9 out of 17.
Excellent. And as you kind of push yourself, leaping towards this individual, he's so dazed and confused that as soon as you like make contact with him, he trips over himself, falling prone onto his back as he is just coughing. His blade falls to the side, as he is like just trying to grab onto you and just try to shove you off, but you can tell that he has like no strength left in his body from whatever this candle has done. You can see that it has let off almost like this just slowly swirling smoke that's just kind of swirling around the room ever so gently.
Dagger to the throat, and I go,
Don't try it.
And you can see like he's trying to speak, and he's just very much just coughing profusely. And as you look, you can see that it's almost like he's got blood and bile building up in his throat as he's trying to get the words out.
I roll to the side and like,
Don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die.
I'm looking for leggies.
Oh, don't die, don't die, don't die.
And I'm just gonna like kind of poke my head around.
You poke your head around the corner and you see the front doors are open. You see Nrobso's got this man on his side, just very, very hastily just shouting, don't die, patting him on the back. As this man
Does
just...
he?
Oh, go ahead.
Does he look like he is actively dying? Like this is blood, like just coming out of his body. He's dying.
Oh yeah, 100%. He's
Okay.
taken by the effects of the poison.
Nrobso, I believe this man might need to see the Lily special in the goblin cookies you've had cooked up.
Oh. Is that be okay?
Enjoy
Is
your
this the
lilies,
dude we need to
Nrobso.
talk-
and then the blade just goes in the back of the guy's, like very Walking Dead, like just like put him out of his misery. Yeah, very in.
And just with a quick smack, this individual, all this kind of bile and blood just spews out of his throat as he just goes limp into Nrobso's arms.
Master Captain Nrobso. Flame his foe. Orgrim, did you see what I did?
And Ogrim just kind of walks over and he just kind of looks down. He says, little messy, but not bad.
Well, the mess was more of your candle doing than the blade of Nrobso.
And he like looks at the candle and looks at all the individuals and looks towards Lainey. Did you make that candle a bit more potent? And Lainey kind of gets this grin across her face. Well, perhaps we should bring the others in. And Ogrim kind of steps out the front door and just kind of looks around the corner, just kind of gestures for everybody to enter in.
I'm immediately going to try and see if any of them, maybe the two that they jumped on, if anybody is actually alive enough to subdue.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a vigilance check if you would, Keen.
Cool. 9 out of 7.
Okay, going around as you're kind of looking at the bodies, a lot of them just have puddles of just blood and bile near their heads. You can see a lot of it has just dripped out of their mouths. Whatever poison that Lainey may have combined with the candle that Aggie had given her, there's no chance. It took all these guys out fairly quickly.
And I guess I'm going downstairs while they're doing whatever they're doing, with like a little bit of a crackle between my fingertips.
I checked this big guy for anything he might have.
Okay, give me a vigilance check, Nrobso, if you would.
5 of 12.
5 of 12, okay. You begin digging through this individual's pockets. You do find a crumpled up piece of parchment, as well as a small pouch that's got about 10 thaler in it. Aside from that, he's got some basic leather armor and like a basic iron longsword.
What can I? Do I read what does the paper say?
You unfold the piece of parchment, and as you're looking at it, it just appears to be a list of supplies. Like it's got some different herbs listed on there. It says like bandages. It says bread. It almost looks like a shopping list of some sort.
This is no good to me. Right, Aggie, this is more something of your speed.
I toss to Aggie and I follow Leggies.
Okay, making your way down. Keen being the first one to the bottom of the staircase. You can see that it's another open room, but there are several smaller rooms off to the side with doorways that are currently shut. Towards the center of this room, however, there appears to be what looks like almost like a black onyx altar of some kind situated down here with two large iron torches on either side that are not lit currently. Looking at this altar, there's almost like these gold and white scriptures kind of scratched into it.
But no skull that I see visibly.
There is no skull there.
Okay, I'm going to proceed with caution, like the little crackle still happening between my fingertips, and I'm going to try to investigate these scriptures.
Okay, go ahead and give me a resolute check, if you would.
Okay. That is a 14 out of 15.
14 out of 15. Excellent. As
Finally.
you approach, the gold and the white scriptures begin to faintly glow. And you feel almost a warming sensation in your eyes as your eyes also begin to glow. And almost like this wall of mist appearing before you, like you're looking into a vision of some kind. You see the altar with this giant ox head now sitting on the altar before you, as it's just kind of weakly mooing. And you see its eyes kind of match yours. And as you make eye contact with it, its eyes begin to glow. And it's almost as though it is now trying to show you something. And you see you're brought to Davokar. You look around, you're not quite certain where you're at, just surrounded by nothing but trees. And as you're standing here for a moment, you see the ground just in front of you begins to sink and open up like another sinkhole opening within the woods itself. The vision kind of slowly begins to morph and fade away as you're now looking down, and you can see that your feet are slightly sunk into almost like this pitch black water. And you kind of look and you see now that you are standing in the middle of like this black water lake. As you're kind of staring down, you almost see the reflection of yourself as your face starts to waver within the water and the vision vanishes, and you once again find yourself in another location. A massive cave covered in moss just all along the walls. And as you're kind of looking at the walls, give me a vigilance check if you would.
Okay, that is a 10. You said vigilance?
Vigilance.
7. 10 out of 7.
10 out of 7. Okay, that's alright. You can't quite make out the words, but you hear something. As you're kind of in this massive cave and you turn, you can see a hallway leading out of it. And almost like these distorted voices coming and echoing down that hallway. Though you can't quite make out the words, the voices sound all too familiar. As you hear your own voice, you hear the voice of Nrobso, Aggie, Laerke, and Kovaan, all echoing down this hallway. And as you're trying to focus in, the visions all kind of fade away. And you're back at the altar, and you hear the footsteps of Nrobso coming behind you.
What is this place?
And this is where I'm assuming they've been making preparations for something far more insidious. Nrobso, we need to find that skull. Can I entrust you with this?
Yeah. What
Excellent.
do you need me to do?
We need to check the rooms.
How many rooms are there?
GM, how many doors are there?
So as you came down the staircase, there are 2 walls on either side of you, each with a doorway. And then if you're looking at the podium, there are 2 small rooms on either side of it as well, with doors that are currently shut. So you got 4 doorways total to look at.
Which one would you like to take, Nrobso?
Well, Leggies, do you want me to like kick doors down and bust in, or do you want like a let me just slowly open? Or is this more of like when we're at Cargor's house and I'm gonna open all the doors?
I think based on how little time we have to resolve this problem, we should just try and do it quickly, but try to protect ourselves at the same time. So be prepared to strike at a moment's notice.
Axe at the ready.
And I open the first door on the right, just busting through.
Push it open, completely empty.
Second door.
Completely empty.
My side's empty. Do you want me to continue?
Yes.
All right.
Go into the ones on either side of the podium. You go over to this one, push it open, completely empty. The 4th one you go over to, you go to push on it, appears to be locked.
All right, we're breaking that one down.
Okay.
All right.
And I take my axe right towards the doorknob.
Slamming down, give me a strength check if you would, Nrobso. Aggie, anything from you at this time upstairs?
At this time, I think I'm just gonna go around and see if I'm gonna be like, I am gonna look at Lainey and just be like, great work. One note for the future, though. Might have been nice to keep one person alive to question. But, and I'm gonna go around and actually start looking to see if there are any survivors, and if not, I'm just gonna fucking pick all their pockets, see if I can't get any, like, clues off of their body.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
Because, like, I don't know, maybe somebody's got a little note saying, oh, by the way, we hid the thing in a place.
Sure. I will say everybody's dead up here. There's nobody alive at all. So go ahead and give me a vigilance check as you're kind of walking around searching the bodies here, Aggie.
Well, that is kind of why I was like, wait, are we gonna murder that last guy?
But
okay.
he was dying. That's why I asked. Did it look like he was actively dying? And he was very much dying.
Yeah, there was nothing. There was no chance.
God damn it. My vigilant is a 12 out of 11.
Oof. As you're digging through the pockets, the only thing that you notice is they all have the same symbol of like the red sun emblazoned on their leather armor. And aside from a couple handfuls of thaler, maybe about 10 to 15 thaler amongst them, there's not much that you can gain off these individuals.
Okay, I'm gonna look at my 2 friends, and I'm just gonna be like, we're looking for a skull. It's a magical relic of great power. Can you help us find it?
We can look. And they begin kind of just tearing apart some of the like basic crates and like chairs and any basic furniture that is up in this area. They begin just kind of tearing through them and looking around. Nrobso, what'd you get for your strength?
5 out of 17.
Excellent, easy enough. You break this door open. As it swings open, there's only one thing that you see in this room, in the center. And as you're kind of looking at it, it slowly begins to squirm and make its way up, and you can see that there is a very like medium length coiled up snake in here that kind of like perks up and just begins hissing at you.
Oh, leggies, not a skull, not a skull.
Shut the door! Shut the door!
And it begins like very much up and tries to strike in your direction.
Can I use my other axe to grab the door and close it back?
Give me a quick check.
While that's happening, can I try and shoot a storm arrow over his shoulder at it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I will absolutely attempt to do that.
Give me a quick check.
11 of 18.
Okay.
I got a 6, but I bet I'm not fast. I got a 6 out of 9, actually.
Okay. So, Nrobso, right as you're pulling the door shut, Keen, your storm arrow flies just through the crack, striking into the snake. And as it strikes in, you hear a very audible just, fuck.
That was a voice. I gotta go back
What?
in there, don't I?
I believe we have to get the snake. Do you have the
Leggings.
saddlebag?
Is this the way Nrobso dies?
Not today, Nrobso.
And the saddlebag is still on Red Herring back up top, so...
Okay, that's fine. We'll just have to get him the good old-fashioned way.
And I bust the door open and I strike at the first thing that I see.
You push the door open and you see an Ambrian man standing there in leather armor with that same red blazoned sun. He got his sword drawn. The snake is nowhere to be seen.
Oh no, the strike is happening.
Okay,
There's no
go ahead.
pause.
Give me an accurate roll here if you would.
Do not kill him. Knock him out.
19 out of 14.
Okay, you go to swing your axe down towards him, and he kind of takes his blade and just parries yours off of him. As he's just kind of standing there. Who are you?
Hold on. I'm reading my skills. Right. I am vengeance. I am the knight. I am Nrobso.
He is the goblin that will murder you if you do not immediately drop your weapons. And like my storm arrows are still behind me.
Okay.
And on your stomach.
I'm searching for the snake.
Okay, go ahead.
Spread your hands out.
Give me a persuasive roll, Keen, with a.
I'm good at that.
I'll give you a +2 to this to your base since Nrobso's helping you out, so your target number will go higher.
Amazing. Amazing.
And Nrobso, there is no snake at all in here.
That is a 4 out of 13.
And you see him. He just kind of looks at you, sees Nrobso, and just. Oh, fuck, this shit ain't worth it anymore. Fuck, Earl of Bernie just kind of drops his sword.
What happened to the snake?
Tie him up. And I throw rope at Nrobso.
Yeah, but the snake. I doing this.
I was the snake.
Oh. That's very unfortunate for you. And give me your hand.
And like he, at this point, like he's not even really fighting it. He just kind of offers his hands out towards you.
You ever seen a king's knot?
Do I hear this by this point? I feel like there's
Oh,
been some
you
commotion.
hear some commotion going on downstairs for sure.
You know about a sailor's knot? And just
Yeah. I'm gonna make my way downstairs and just be like, oh! Yay, there is somebody alive! Yay! I'm just gonna holler up and be like, don't worry about it. You did a great job.
And
so the tie is like around his hands, but I also cinch it to his waist. So he's more like this.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of like looking at you all. And of course, there's more of you.
What's your name?
Gardai.
Is it Erlabar?
It's Gardai.
Gardai.
I'm assuming you...
What are you doing here, Gardai?
And he's just kind of looking at the three of you, and he knows there's more upstairs. And you just see like a look at the feet on him. Just... Look, it's... I'm assuming you're here for my master in the skull. I can assure you it's too late.
Why would you say it's too late?
Yeah. Define it.
And he just kind of smiles. And you all feel the ground beneath your feet begin to shake. Almost like a bit of an earthquake is hitting. The ritual's already begun.
Listen, Gardai, and I get like really close to his face. You are going to start walking with me in the direction of wherever this skull is. Is it under the ground right now in the sinkhole?
Yeah, he just kind of smiles. The crystal isle. Underneath the hold. But it's too late.
Aggie, remember when I said if things go bad here that I will quickly take off with red herring, and I think now
might be the time.
And
yes.
Nrobso just takes off to get back to his horse and gallops triumphantly back to the sinkhole.
And as you all...
I guess well that's...
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm not done with him. I'm not done.
Okay. As the ground is shaking and he is smiling, you all also begin to hear within your ears just this, like, as this heartbeat noise just begins echoing in your heads. And he's just standing there staring at you, Keen, with a grin across his face.
Yeah, I'm grabbing him by the front of the shirt, and we're starting to walk and talk now. All right. So what exactly is happening right now, Gardai? Be very specific.
He just smiles. There's no reason to tell you more. It's already begun.
I'm going to put my hand against his face, and it's going to be really hot.
Okay. What are you doing to him?
I put my hand against his face, and it's going to be really hot and really uncomfortable really quickly.
All right. You put your hand to his face, and he begins wincing in pain. You just...
If it's already over, Gardai, then why don't you just tell me a story about what exactly is happening?
My master is already down there.
Who is your master?
Erlabar, the man you've been seeking. The prince.
All right, take me there.
The prince has guided him to the isle. And he will come for you all next.
Why don't you take me to him?
Very well. If you wish to get to your death so quickly, so be it. And he begins walking through the streets, and as you all make your way up to the top...
I also just holler out, and why were you a snake?
a magic of the prince to help us all hide.
And who is this prince? Be specific. Name, maybe.
And he just smiles once more. And as he kind of looks towards you, Keen, his body once again shapes back into a snake as he just slips out of the restraints around him.
All right, Nrobso, it's time to... Lilies!
No,
Nrobso's gone.
Nrobso's on a horse, baby. All right, that's, you know what this means? This is where where low Miss Agithe gets out her you know what? She's gonna use, if all it takes is a bop, she's gonna use her fucking quarterstaff, her little walking stick that she walks around with, and she's just gonna go bah!
All right, easy enough. You take your quarterstaff and you crush the snake's skull in as it just goes lifeless on the ground.
Oh, I didn't need to do all of that. I was just trying to get him to unshape shift. Oh shit.
At this point, it appears to just be an actual snake that you just crushed. And Nrobso, on your horse, making your way through town, you begin to hear the sounds of individuals yelling and screaming. And you see people begin to kind of shove and push their way through the streets as the Night's Watch kind of look back in the direction of the sinkhole. And you start to see the familiar shadow figures now once again running through the streets, this time like crawling on the walls like spiders throughout Thistlehold, just slamming down, ripping into Ambrians left and right as much as they can. And you see the Night's Watch, all swords drawn, begin taking on these creatures as one of them lands directly in front of you, Nrobso, raising its arms back. You see this beautiful shining sword pierce through the back of it out of its chest and just tear through. And the individual behind, you see the familiar Templar of Henlone standing there. And you see him just kind of look towards you. Get your party and get to the hole.
I'm actively headed that way, and I'm sure they are aware of the situation.
And he just says go and just
all right.
Pushes past you. And you can see Cranko and the other goblins up on the rooftops using like shovels and pickaxes to just try to start smacking some of these shadow creatures as all of them are just kind of beginning to pour once again through the streets. You see the Night's Watch all out, swords drawn, fighting once more as you begin booking it towards the sinkhole. As the streets kind of begin to get a bit crowded, you see what almost looks like arcane sparks flying off in the distance. As you look up and you see Gadramon up on one of the rooftops, just dropping down spells left and right on these creatures, trying to create a pathway for you. Keen and Aggie and the rest of your parties, you make your way up to the surface. You can also see what appears to be the Night's Watch trying to force a pathway for you to work your way through, as you're now seeing these shadow creatures again tearing into the flesh of the Ambrians around you. What do you do?
Running towards the sinkhole.
Okay, making your way through, you begin running. Aggie, Laerke, Kovaan, Muriel, Lysindra, Ogrim, and Laney all following you, Aggie, towards the sinkhole. Keen, as you're falling in line, you hear a voice yell from behind you. It's so good to see you again. And if you look in the direction, you see Bomelo standing there.
I knew it.
just kind of towering in the distance as one of the shadow creatures begins running towards him. He just reaches out with one hand, catching it by the throat, and just squeezes down. Almost like he's just crushing this creature's windpipe as it's just squirming in his hand as he just drops it.
Well, I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun with that. And I start running towards my group.
Okay, you continue running after Aggie, all of you making your way towards the sinkhole. And as you approach, you can see that the barrier that was once set up around the sinkhole has been all but destroyed, as more and more of these shadow-like spawn are just crawling their way out and begin just shoving their way through Thistlehold, through the streets. As you approach, though, you see Captain Marvello up on the front lines trying to hold these creatures back. You also see Mayor Nightpitch, fully decked out in this beautiful, pristine metal armor, as he's got a sword drawn back to back with Marvello, as he too is trying to push through these creatures. And he looks and sees all of you as he just kind of grabs one of them and just shoves it back down into the sinkhole. And he's just waving for you all to head in.
I'm going to drop brimstone cascades, like, along the line of the sinkhole as they try to get out.
Okay, what does this look like for us, Keen?
So, like, I basically get to some kind of vantage point, where I can hit things coming out of the sinkhole without hitting, like, people.
Mm-hmm.
And, it almost seems like a flurry of black crows, like, starts to come out of the sky, like, circle around me, and then I just put out my hand and I just start, like, lava literally starts, like, bursting from the ground and just, like, engulfing things in a flame.
And it is just what you all see, these massive crow-like creatures just circling, almost like a defensive barrier, as these lava geysers begin to erupt out beneath these creatures' feet, as you hear them just kind of shriek out pain from the bursts of the lava, and now these massive birds just kind of pecking into their flesh and pulling them apart. As you all make your way towards the edge of the sinkhole, we will go ahead and pick this up in a couple weeks. So thank you all so much for joining us today. Greatly appreciate it. Let's go ahead and we'll go around once more. Introduce yourselves, shout yourselves out where people can follow you all. Let's start off with Kelsey this time.
Hi everyone, I'm Kelsey. You can find me on all social media at Tombs and Tomes, and I'd love to see you if you like tabletop role-playing games and books.
Excellent, thank you so much. Let's throw over to Leroy.
Hey everyone, it is Leroy on all social media at Royalty No Y. I'm pretty active on Instagram because I'm trying to boot up those reels so that I can get paid. And also equally, if you are interested, I've been doing a campaign with my kids. My daughter is 6 and my son is 4 years old, and we've just been having a time playing little D&D adventures. And roughly in about 2 to maybe 3 hours, I will be sitting down playing with them and streaming live here on Twitch.
Awesome. Love to see it. Thank you so much. And let's go over to Coral.
Hi friends, my name's Coral Reefer. You can find me on the Twitches at Queer Venture Time and on the Twitters at Q Venture Time because Queer Venture Time is too many characters. At both places, you can expect a lot of stupid gay bullshit.
We're here for it. Thank you so much. As for myself, I'm Nate Ridenauer, the GM for Symbaroum here, as well as the Overseer for our Fallout miniseries, which is currently streaming on the Initiative Order as well every other Wednesday. You can find me here running through some Fallout, super fun. Aside from that, we also have a Discord for the Initiative Order if you want to jump in, join us, play games. We host open calls for upcoming streaming projects, so if you're interested in streaming with us as a player, as a GM, come hang out with us. We'd love to meet you. We'd love to hang out with you. There should be a link for our Discord going around somewhere in the chat. And before we go, just some quick shout outs to our wonderful sponsors, Session Zero Clothing. They create some really cool TTRPG inspired streetwear. If you use code, I believe it is, let me look it up here so I don't get it wrong for y'all. Oh my gosh, where are the things with the stuff? I want to say it is code ORDER at checkout. You can get 15% off your purchase. Yes, code order
That's
for 15%.
what the command says.
There it is. Look at that. Next up,
Thanks,
we've
Brianna.
got Norse Foundry, creator of amazing artisan dice. If you use code TIO15, you get 15% off your purchase through them. Another amazing dice crafter we have in our corner, our friends over at Mithril Armory. If you use code INITIATIVE, you can get 10% off your purchase through them. And last but certainly not least, another amazing dice crafter, Umbral Oculus, handmade dice by our very own Terran, aka Valrook. If you use code TIO15, no, hang on, I lied. If you use code INITIATIVE, you can get 10% off a purchase of a full set of handmade dice through her store. And we do have one more amazing sponsor as well, and that is our friend Arclight Court, the amazing Will. He's one of our regular GMs. He creates some really cool custom streetwear as well as all kinds of other goodies. If you use code TIO15, you get 15% off your purchase through his brand Arclight Court. Check it out. Follow him on all the socials. It's all super cool stuff. I think that's everything before I start to mess up any more words. So thank you all so much for joining us today. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you all in the next adventure. See ya.